Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about those projects that I finished at the end of 2022, because there's a bit of a stack, and what I'm currently working on slash going to be working on. So without further ado, let's get started. So first, we're going to start with a couple of hats, because I did 3 hats at the end of 2022, which is more hats than I've made since I was in high school probably. That was the last time I made hats, so yeah, it's been a long time. 2 of these hats were knitted, the other one was crocheted. 2 of them turned out not great, one of them turned out amazing. So yeah, it's been a journey doing hats. So the first hat I'm going to talk about is a knitted hat that I made right here. So this was made using alpaca cloud. It was such a smart idea because this is so soft. I just did if you can tell, a regular stockinette stitch, and then I would have like a small portion being knitting in the back loop only, I believe. So it kind of gave it a little bit of texture in certain spots, which I thought was cool, and then just a simple ribbed bottom thing. I don't know. I did not do the decrease as well. You can tell when I go like this that it comes to a little bit of a point here, and it's like weirdly misshapen in spots, but it's fine. It was my first knitted hat. It was my first like bigger knitting thing, I guess, outside of the advent calendar, which I will get to last probably because there's a lot with that one. But yeah, this one, it was a fun little project. I got to work in the round again, which has been helping me a lot making a sweater. So yeah, this one didn't turn out too bad. It doesn't fit terribly. Here, let me just, like I said, it doesn't fit terribly. It's probably a little bit small, but it's not like dire tiny like the other one that I have. So overall, it's probably like a, I don't know, 7 out of 10, maybe a 6 out of 10, because that top is not good. Next for hats, we're moving on to a crochet hat. This guy right here. There's a lot wrong with this, so I'm just gonna start from the beginning. The ribbing turned out great. There was nothing wrong with the ribbing. I think the ribbing is definitely what I wanted. But there's this little issue where the ribbing transitioning into here, it suddenly gets smaller, and that makes it really small in my head. So it doesn't stay, and it's very hard to like pull onto my head. Was not a fan. I must have like been messing up like what was the right and wrong side, because there's like these little lines. This was crocheted, so there's like, you know, patches of nothing, and then there's lines, and I'm like, what is happening? I must have like accidentally started going the other way or something. I honestly don't know. It did not turn out the greatest, but that's okay. It's just made with some Rowan yarn. I don't remember the exact name. I will put it in the description though, so you'll know. Once again, the decreasing, not good at all. There's no like point with this one because I knew to not go all the way to the top, but the decreasing, you can tell, is not even on both sides. So that was a mess up. Not terrible. Could have been way better. This is like a 4 out of 10 for me. And I haven't crocheted anything since, so that's a lie. I have. Don't listen to me. I have crocheted something since. Only one thing though. Everything else I've been knitting, which is really crazy. So my third hat, and honestly the most successful hat, was following a pattern, because clearly I needed to follow a pattern to be able to make a hat. Since September, early October, or something like that, I have been getting Yarnier subscription boxes. That last crochet hat, that was yarn that I got in one of those Yarnier boxes. I didn't want to do the pattern that came with it, so I made my own thing. This time I did the pattern, and I'm very happy I did. So this is this little rib beanie, sorry. I decided to do the knit pattern for it because they always come with a knit and a crochet pattern. I did the knit pattern because I just really liked the look of it. I thought it looked really cool. So it's a, what is this? Hold on, I gotta look again. Twisted spiral rib. And I think it looked, I think it turned out really cool. I mean, it's just so interesting. And I probably am gonna make other hats with this same stitch because it looks cool. It fits amazing. It's super stretchy. I actually gave this one to my husband but it just, I don't know, it fits really well compared to the other two. I didn't put on the crochet one because I didn't feel like squeezing my head, but this one fits amazing. I'm really happy with it. So yeah, this was my most successful knit of 2022 in my personal opinion. Very happy. Right along to another Yarnier pattern, sort of, are these. So these are just little thumbless gloves, or fingerless gloves. Wow, thumbless gloves. Fingerless gloves. I have not woven in the ends yet because I've just been a little lazy with it and I wanted to show the yarn. So it is this, which is like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm sure there's a name for it, but it's like hand woven yarn or something. I don't know exactly, but it gets thicker and thinner in spots, and then it's not really twisted anyway, except for the little golden thread that's on there. That's what keeps it together. I did most of the pattern. I crocheted this because I just wanted to get away from knitting for a little bit. I was not a fan of this yarn. It's not exactly the most comfortable to wear on my hands either, so that kind of took away a little bit of it. And I didn't do the top. There's like a trim at the top. I didn't do that because I did not understand what the instructions were trying to tell me to do. And I was getting frustrated with the yarn, so I stopped doing that. But I mean, overall, I think it turned out great. I'll probably use this pattern in the future with an easier yarn and do the top trim once I figure out how to do it. So that was a quick and easy project. I think this took me literally like a day, not even. So super simple project if you want something quick. So the last project, I'm going to have to show you kind of a close-up of it, but I'll show you kind of what it looks like of me holding it because it's a little big. I have not blocked it yet. I've not woven in the ends yet, but this is my advent calendar little shawl thing. Ugh. See, it's very long. So this is a circular shawl. This is not the right way. So I decided to knit the advent calendar. After looking at it, I was like, you know what? Knitting seems like it would be fun. That way I can do something a little different. Obviously, this was at the beginning of December when I decided. So if I went back, I probably still would have done the knitting because it made me a lot more confident in knitting in general. There's a lot of really cool things going on, and there's some things I was not a big fan of. Specifically, the amount of garter stitch. I don't know if you can tell, but it's just garter stitch galore throughout this whole thing, which is kind of like between the sections of the cooler stitches. They decided, let's just do garter stitch because it's easy. And I'm not a huge fan, but like I said, it really got me confident in knitting again, which is huge. I personally really like this stitch right here. I don't know if you can tell, am I pointing the right spot? That stitch right there. I kind of like that a lot. And the icicle stitches, which are these like spots where it's kind of like opened up. Here's a good section of that right there. I think that's really cool too. Otherwise, I'm not a big fan of the shawl, to be honest. I don't like the shape. Blocking it will probably help, but I'm not a huge fan of the shape right now. I realize I definitely prefer shawls that come to a point or maybe like a soft point, but this is just like no point. It's just like, let's just kind of start going like this. And it's just not my thing. I'm probably going to give this to somebody, maybe next year Christmas present. I already have 2 other things that I'm planning on sending to family members that are in a different state, so I'll probably throw this in there too. So yeah, not the biggest fan of the finished project, but I do have a lot of leftover yarn. So this leftover yarn, I'm planning on weaving it all together and having just one big ball of everything that's left over with the transition of colors the way it is. And then I want to make something with it. What that something is, I could not tell you. I have 0 ideas right now, but I do want to do that. So look forward to that whenever I make that decision. Okay, so that's it for everything that I worked on in the end of 2022 that is finished, or mostly finished. So the one thing I have been working on diligently is a sweater, and this is a knit sweater. It's the first ever sweater I've ever made knitting wise, and I'm doing it from bottom up, which I regret my decision highly, but we're gonna keep going with it. I've already got one sleeve done, I've got half the other sleeve done, and I have the body up to where the sleeves have to connect done. So it's going really well. So here is one sleeve. It's very simple. I did a 2x2 rib on the cuff and then just increased slightly. I kind of messed up with the increases. It's fine. It still doesn't look too bad, but there are some holes and stuff, which whatever. And then I just kind of did it like once I got to my desired width, I kind of just kept going down and I think it turned out good. The body, I had some issues. The ribbing at the bottom, I did 1x1 and I wish I did 2x2. And it's also a little too short. There's some issues where I like somehow messed up the pattern of knit purl. So there's this like line through part of it, but that's fine. Otherwise, super simple stockinette stitch, nothing crazy. And then here's where I am on the other sleeve. So a little less than halfway done, I'd say. I think it's working out really well. It's just such an easy thing to just have while I'm watching TV or something. So that's exciting. This yarn, by the way, I'm doing 2 strands. I don't know if you can tell, 2 strands of this yarn. So it is an alpaca yarn. It is by Drops. I wanted something that was affordable, that I could buy a lot of and not break the bank, and that was still soft. And it's still pretty soft, considering how cheap it was. So I'm really happy with my decision to go with it. I bought 16 balls, which I'm hoping is enough. I still have like 6 or 7, or it wouldn't be 7. Still like, I think 6 or 8 left. I'm not entirely sure. So I'm really hoping that can be enough to finish it. I think it will be. But anyway, I'm very excited to finish this sweater. So excited, in fact, that I already bought yarn for my second sweater. If you watched my 2023 goals video, I said that I want to make 3 sweaters this year, knitting wise, and I'm already got the second one planned out. The link to the actual pattern is going to be in the description. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head right now, but I have the yarn for it. See? So here's the yarn. It is Drops Lima or Lima, I'm not entirely sure. It is a, can I read that through here? It is a wool and alpaca mix. I think it's really nice. I'm pretty happy with it. If you want to know the color, it's 206. So it's a little funny story about the color that I picked for it. I had my husband pick. I pulled up the list of colors and I just had him pick one, and he picked the one that the pattern just happened to call for. He didn't look at the pattern. He had no idea, but he was just like, "Oh, do that one." And I'm like, "Okay." And then I look at the pattern, I'm like, "Oh, that's literally the color they wanted." So I'm actually making the project in the color that it called for. Who would have thought? I'm very excited for that one. It's got a little bit of an intricate yoke going on, so a little more advanced than what I'm doing right now. I'm excited. I don't have the third one picked out yet, but that will probably be by like summertime-ish. I'll probably have figured it out. I'm really excited for it. I think that this year is the year of sweaters, and I'm all here for it. I still have those 2 blankets to finish, and I still have that crop sweater to finish with crochet, so lots of sweaters, lots of big things, lots of big projects, and really excited to finish all of them. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this video. I'm just gonna keep working diligently on these sweaters. I do plan on doing like an update video at the end of each month, just showing you what I've worked on, what I may have finished, what I may have started, all that fun stuff. I know one thing that you will probably be seeing at the end of this month is something with this. This was the last Yarnier box I got. It came with this yarn, and I have the thing right here. It is a Wool Pop by Universal Yarn. It is 50% bamboo, 35% superwash wool, 15% polyamide. So there'll be something with this. I did not want to do the pattern for this month. Not really my thing. I think I'm making a headband with it. So you'll see that very soon. So without further ado, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.